Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball HTB. Hope you all. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Very, very much actually. I hope you're having a good day, night, arvo, early morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. But in saying that, to my new subscribers as well, a personal thank you for joining in. Just quickly, for those of you who don't know, I'm just a YouTube dude, man. That's it. Who loves rugby league. There's no difference between you and I just like to record my thoughts, that's all. But in saying that, before we get into this video here, which is about chess and NRL, you're probably thinking, how on earth do we sort of combine the two? Well, I think anyway, the perfect sort of, combination or way to sort of process this. So, yeah, looking forward to it. But before we get into it, hit that intro. Alright guys, so like I said before, chess, NRL, you're probably sitting there thinking, what on earth? Well, the point of this is to basically not necessarily teach you guys about chess per se, but to teach you guys about the value, and then I want to put it into context into what I mean. So before I get into it heavily, the king, the queen, and then you have the rooks, and then you have the bishops and the knights. Now, all you got to remember is that the king is the most valuable piece, the queen second, the rooks are third, and then you have the bishops and the knights that are respective third, right? And then for the sake of this, we're going to add 2 pawns as well, so that'll be basically 10 total. These technically 8 pawns, but for the sake of this, we're going to pretend that there are only 2 pawns in a chess piece. Cool? Cool. All right, so again, king, queen, rooks, and then bishop, and then knights, and then you have your pawns. Cool? All right. So in our context, what I want to do is for each team, I actually want to rank your best players from the most to the to the most valuable. Basically, the pawns don't mean that they're rubbish. It just means that they're probably on the lower end. However, you can always increase your value, just remembering that. But at the same time as well, it also sort of gives you an idea of where I think players are and your team are. Basically, you're more than welcome to absolutely disagree, or you can agree, whatever, that's fine. But in saying that, I've just put in a bit of thought into this. So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, and again, if you do get lost or stuck, please rewind, rewatch, so that you guys can sort of again just get a grasp as to what I'm talking about. Yeah. So basically, the first 2 teams I'll be doing today is going to be the Raiders as well as the Tigers. Now, just bear in mind, this will be an 8-week series, or even less, just depending. Obviously, with the NRL around the corner, you're gonna have to really try and shove all these 2022 predictions away and all that jazz. So basically, again, these are my ideas as to who is the most important, the top 10, should I say, heading into 2022. So let's do it now. All right, so with the Canberra Raiders, the king is Josh Papali. You cannot, in my opinion, go past him. He is the marquee player. He's the young vet, I think, anyway. He's been there before regarding Queensland. He's an absolute warhorse, and obviously is an international player as well. He, to me, is their best player. He's the most impactful player. He's so valuable to them on and off the field. And I reckon, for me, he's the king of the Raiders. The queen is Eliot Whitehead. We all know the Englishman loves to, get a bit argy-bargy. Doesn't mind running the mouth a bit, but he backs it up. Very passionate guy as well. Very passionate player. Doesn't mind talking to the refs and the opposition as well. But he's a head-down, bum-up type player, which bodes well for the Raiders, and I think definitely makes him the queen. And so for the rooks, you have Jack Whiten as well as Jordan Rapana, the double J's. So again, with Jordan Rapana, obviously being in the wing there, you can definitely regard him in the top 10 wingers for sure heading into this year, or thereabouts. Another thing about him as well, he's just a solid and sturdy player. Jack Whiten at 5'8". That combination between him and Jamal Fogarty, I think, increases his value. But in saying that, how will he sort of replicate, or how does he, work with Fogarty? I think that's going to be the questions there. Look, granted, he's not the best 5'8" going around, but still he is there. He has effort, and he can play a multitude of positions as well. In saying that, I still do see him, though, as a high-value player for the Raiders. For the Bishops, I have Joseph Tapine as well as Tom Starling. Look, with Joseph Tapine, not much needs to be said about him. A workhorse, a warhorse, an absolute good player. I think overall he's a good player. One thing about him that I like is that he's a very underrated, strong ball carrier. If you see him run on the ball, he's actually pretty hard to tackle an aggressive player too, and is very, in my opinion, very fit. He's got a good engine on him. With Tom Starling, I do believe he came in and shot really well in the latter end of the season. Is making a name for himself, and I think has all the rights to definitely own that hooking position heading into this year. I do see him playing a very massive and pivotal role for the Raiders, definitely for the season, and for me, he's definitely up there in value, absolutely. For the Knights, I have Josh Hodgson as well as Corey Horsburgh. And with Hodgson as well, again, obviously, these that leadership, these that experience as well. Just got to remember that a few years ago, he did lead the Raiders to that grand final as well. So he was thereabouts. Though things have probably dropped off politically, I'm not too sure what's going on there. I'm not going to talk about it per se. But again, he's somebody who, I think in my opinion anyway, just will deliver, can deliver. Though things are a bit rocky, perhaps, I still think he'll give the goods for sure. Corey Horsburgh, the fiery redhead from Queensland, we all love him. He's a fan favorite. He's a very passionate player, young too. I do see him making his mark this season, and I do see him personally as a valuable player. Again, one of the good things about him is he's rough around the edges. He doesn't mind a bit of a bit of the tough stuff, right? And I definitely do like seeing him play. And then for the pawns, I have is Nick Gottrich as well as Jamal Fogarty. Big praise, big raps as well for both these players, particularly that since they've come from different clubs. Obviously, we all know of Nick Cartridge as well. He is actually from the Raiders after playing for the Bulldogs. It wasn't the best season per se for him. However, in saying that, he comes back, the Raiders' son is back, and we're going to see him rip into, I'm sure. A bit of experience, obviously. You sort of learn lessons when things are not going too well for you at different clubs, different places, highs and lows. We all know that stuff. How does he translate it into the Raiders? But again, I have him there. Jamal Fogarty coming for the Titans. Yes, he is the ship steerer. He's the guy that's going to be steering that ship that's called the Raiders. That combination that I spoke about before with him and Whiten is going to be pivotal. There's going to be a lot of questions asked, I'm sure, about it. But how does he manage? But for the fact that he is, in my opinion anyway, put in the top 10 for available players in the Raiders is a huge testament to his character and to who he is as a footy player. Jamal Fogarty could just be the key, I think, anyway. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But that is my top 10 most valuable pieces there for the Raiders. All right, and now we're going to be doing the West Tigers. And look, again, with the West Tigers, it's just my opinion. All of this is just my opinion. See what happens. All right, so for the King, I have Adam Dawy. That's right. He is, in my opinion, the most valuable piece there is at the West Tigers. His play, the way he does things, his even leadership, just the eyes up but then structure at the same time. Granted, he has an ACL injury, so he'll be coming just a little bit later on, but that still, to me, does not diminish his impact and his value at the West Tigers. He is the king of the West Tigers for me. The Queen, David Norfoluma, that strong, sturdy winger. We know he's a very pivotal part of that team, obviously a one-club player, but in saying that, did do some key things for the Tigers. I'm sure he's hungry and ready to try and get into that top 8 spot. It's so tough to do, but I do see him putting his hands up. Absolutely, David Norfoluma for me is, arguably the heart of the Tigers. So, Queen for me. The Rooks, Alex Twal, as well as Stefano Utoikamanu. And just quickly on Utoikamanu, he did sign a very lucrative couple of more years with the Tigers. It was to the end of 2025, I believe. So again, just that on its own is a very good thing. High praise for him too. He, in my opinion, is going to be probably one of the bigger stars that will rise up, I think. I might even do a video on it, on my thoughts on who will rise, who knows. But in saying that, great player to watch. Was selected for the Blues, wasn't he? So, and again, with Alex Twal, he, in my opinion, if I was to put him in that category, I'll put him in the Payne Haas category. You may think it's a big call, but honestly, that guy does the 1%ers so well. And he's pivotal to this team. He's one of the best. He's right up there in terms of value for this West Tigers team. And he's somebody that you're thankful you have and you just want to lock in. I hope that the West Tigers too do lock him in. He's somebody you definitely do not want running elsewhere. Simple as that. I have high praise for Alex Twal. For the Bishops, I have Jackson Hastings as well as Luciano Leilua. And again, Jackson Hastings obviously comes from the Super League. Granted, sure, he's been there before in the NRL. He's come from the Super League. I'm not trying to say they're both the same, but in saying that he's experienced there, right? There was time for him to develop and grow. Again, political situation there regarding DCE and himself. But again, things happen. That's just the way it goes. He comes back. He's determined. He's hungry. He's going to make the most of this opportunity. There's something about people who have been given a second opportunity, a second chance, that you just need to really keep an eye on, because you don't know how that goes for them psychologically. A lot of the times it does actually work for him. He's hungry, and the combination of him and Brooks is going to be very... I think a lot of people, you don't have to be a fan of the Tigers to actually just keep a keen eye on them, honestly. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But Jackson Hastings, for me to be put in that bishop position, that third valuable position, that's a very high praise for him. Luciano Leilua as well, just an absolute machine. He's a terror. Ball in hand as well, such an underrated ball player as well for second rower. Such a good defender, strong too. Granted, on the odd occasion, things can slip. But in saying that, I still think he plays a pivotal role. I'm not too sure what the contract is regarding next season. So after 2022, is he still going to be the Tigers? I'm not too sure. So for those in the comments who do know, please let me know. But again, it's just, I see him definitely high up there for sure. Absolutely. So for the Knights, I have Dane Laurie as well as Luke Brooks. Yes, that's right. And just to go over it quickly, with Brooks, I explained before that combination of him and Hastings is going to be very pivotal. How is that going to work? I do see Brooks looking at this as a year to try and redeem himself. It's probably the same old story we've heard for a couple of years now, but I genuinely believe with a good half beside him, things can possibly go places. We need to remember that Luke Brooks is a pretty good player, all right? Sure, hasn't been the best, but I mean, there's sparks there that you can see. And let's not kid ourselves, that dude is so quick. It's not even funny. I'm actually surprised at how fast he actually is, to be fair. But I do expect a very a big season from him. And I do see him as a valuable piece, obviously, for the West Tigers. Dan Laurie, what can I say? An absolute monster, right? This is, in my opinion, the future of the Tigers, particularly with him, Dawy as well. But I do see Laurie as the future. He is just such a explosive fullback. There's more of him to come. Absolutely there is. And there's more of him that we'll see that we probably won't see from any other players. He has that all-star quality about him. He is just such an absolute dynamite of a player. And as you can see and judge by the way I'm talking about him, I love watching Dane Laurie play. So awesome as sweet. He's definitely up there for me. All right. And so for the pawns, I have James Tamo as well as Tommy Talau. And with Tommy Talau, again, I selected him because, yes, I do see him as one. Much like Dane Laurie, he is the future of this team. And at the same time as well, I see him being a player that can grow in the roles that he plays. I understand he plays wing. He can play in the halves as well, right? So he's a versatile player. But I do see him this season stepping up a bit more. He would have to. The Tigers do generally as a collective. So, why not sort of give Talau that chance to do the same? Again, with him, one thing I like about him too is that he's a quick player. But not only that, you can see there's a bit of IQ there as well regarding the footy stuff. So I don't mind him. Look, James Tamo, you'll probably argue and say he's dropped down a piece or two or three maybe even, depending on how you rate him. But for me personally, obviously the captain, former captain, I'm not too sure what's going on there. But he's got the experience. I'm sure he has the drive, the determination as well to make that, top 8, as I'm sure all teams do. But again, with him, it's just there's a lot of pressure on him to deliver. Obviously, you bring him in because of the experience. You bring him in because he's been there before. He's lifted up that NRL Premiership as well as the Origin as well. But again, at the same time, you bring him in also because you just have good faith in him that you believe he can deliver. One thing about Tamo as well is that as an experienced player that he is, obviously there's going to be young players looking at him. So for him to still be placed in the top 10 as valuable as he is, regardless of positioning, again, it talks about his character, but at the same time, it probably speaks about him needing to step up his game. I think there's definitely a lot of young up-and-coming players as well that will take his position. It's as simple as that. So again, with James Tamo, how can he react to this? Anyway, guys, that is my NRL chess video series. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. TV show, anything, episode, whatever. But this will be the first episode technically. But in saying that, that is my video there. Now, again, guys, tell me your thoughts. Be prepped because the teams that are coming are going to be a surprise. So obviously Raiders and Tigers for today could be the Sharks and the Broncos for the week after, or even the Warriors or the Storm. But I've enjoyed this. I'm enjoying this. I want to keep doing it. I'll keep at this. Let me know your thoughts on it. But again, guys, yes, stick around. I do have also a live coming on tonight with Fanatics, so I'm looking forward to that. and Ruin Hammer as well have invited me to join and be part of their watch party as well, against the trial match anyway against the Storm, for the 19th of February. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But again, like I said, there's a live tonight. Please join us. Q&A Rugby League. Be there, or just be square. I don't know, whatever. Hold the ball. If you hold the ball, then you just got to be there, right? Simple as that. But in saying that, thanks again for watching, tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Take care. And just remember, if you want to be king, what do you do? Hold the ball. Take it easy. See you guys next time. High value,